Good morning, students. My name is Abraham Sholongela, and I'm going to give you your classes on Agricultural Education 1, and I would like to say welcome to Agricultural Education 1. I wish you all to be hardworking, dedicated, and self-driven students in this course. This presentation covers the subject content in brief and some general guidelines that I want everyone to keep in mind when preparing for the August 2017 examination. Just to brief you or to give you an introduction, I will discuss some of the content of your study guide in order to help you prepare for the coming exam. By now, you should have a good idea what the subject is about as you have completed an assignment. Please note that I cannot give attention to the whole content. So should you have any question, please contact me for help. My contact details is also on the screen there, that you can contact me on my mobile number, which is 081 44 38 360, or you can just send me an email at asholongela@unam.na. Just to continue, I say the following presentation will also highlight some important aspects and units of this module. So use the study guide, your study guide, to prepare for the examination. Now, to start off, I would like us to look at the economic importance of agriculture and environmental problems in agriculture. So we can start off by looking at the ways people can earn money through agricultural production. So farmers must produce enough to feed themselves throughout the year or until next season, such that they have a surplus. And the surplus is what the farmers can also sell in order to generate an income. Agricultural products must be of good quality because customers nowadays do not prefer the quantities. They don't go for quantities, but they go for the quality of the products. Crop commodities must be stored in such a way that they do not lose value through spoilage or damage by pests like weevils, cockroaches, and rodents. Produce must be cleaned before they are being sold. A market must be identified such that the transport cost of taking the produce to the market will not erode the profits. Farmers should not always hunt for markets, but they should be market creators as well. So they have to take part in creating business opportunities for themselves instead of them looking for a market. So I would like us also to look at different types of soil erosion. I have just given them the list of these soil erosions on the screen, but I want you to go through your study guide and study more of this in details of these soil erosions. So I'm just going to take you, but to tell you some of, to take you through, we have the main three types of soil erosions, which is mainly the water erosions, and then the wind erosions, and then the tillage erosions. I want you to understand that the water erosions is the movements and the relocations of the topsoil by water. And that is now what we call the soil erosions. And now we have the other types of soil erosions as listed here on the screen, which is now we have the rain splash erosions. Normally that happens when the impact of falling raindrops moves the soil, and that also depends when the soil is falling and is falling with a higher intensity or the higher forces, and that moves the soil. And then also another type of water erosion is the gully erosions, and this happens when water accumulates and repeatedly flows through channels for a long period of time, and then these channels become dips as the water removes the soils continuously. And then another one, we have the sheet erosion. The sheet erosion is when the runoff travels over the ground, and then it also moves the soil particles. And then we also have the stream channel erosions. Then we also have the wind erosions, which is also another type of soil erosion. Then the wind erosion is mainly the removal of the topsoil being blown away by the winds over the time. And then you also have now the tillage erosions, which is now the caused by the process of tilling the soil, which displaces the soil during land preparation for planting the crops. So, but as I said, I'm only going to give you brief of these types of soil, but I would like you to go into your study guide and study more in details of these different types of soil erosion. Let us look at the importance of water to plant growth. Water is, as we all know, that water is essential, important or essential. So it is life to plants, as it constitutes up to 80% of the plant's biomass. Water is therefore necessary in agriculture for food production. Within the plant, water is needed for chemical reaction of life to occur that involves transfer of plant nutrients, namely proteins, the carbohydrates, the lipids, minerals, and vitamins. Adequate water supply or absorptions from the soil lead to healthy plants, assuming all the required nutrients are not limiting. Now, inadequate water supply will also lead to stunt growth, and complete lack of water will cause early plant death. I also want you to know that water is needed for growth, for the strength, and also for the thermostator. Then also water is also needed for food and also for nutrients and for the roots of the plants. The importance of light to plant growth. So the quality and the intensity and the durations of light directly impact the plant growth. The light quality mainly refer to the color. For example, the sunlight color spectrum is composed of red, maybe orange, yellow, green or blue, indigo and violet and so forth. Then, or wavelength reaching the plant's surfaces. Red and blue have the greatest impact on plant growth. Green light is least effective. The reflections of green light gives the green color to the plants. Blue light is primarily responsible for vegetative leaf growth. Red light, when combined with blue light, encourages flowering. Light intensity: the more sunlight a plant receives to a degree, the higher the photosynthetic rate will also be. Light durations refer to the amount of time that a plant is exposed to sunlight. The giant vegetables and flowers that grow under the long sunny days of aquatic suns, or even with cool temperatures, are due to longer light durations. However, plants are generally intolerant of continuous light for 24 hours. So that means the plant cannot be exposed to light continuously for 24 hours. So it has another negative impact on the plant. The importance of soil in plant growth. The soil from the surfaces going downwards until the water table or hard rock is characterized by various layers with distinct colors. Now, the soil layers constitute what is known as the soil profile or soil side view. And I want you to read more in your study guides about the soil profile as well. The useful rooting depth is the layer or layers of the soil profile where roots are able to grow and absorb water and nutrients. This then is the segments of the soil profile that has direct influence on crop production. The soil profile developments result in a soil within three main layers. And these three main layers are the topsoil, then the subsoil, and then partially withered or original parent materials. In soil science, these layers are called, or they are referred to as A, B, and C horizons. Together, these horizons form the soil outlines, and this is what is called the soil profile. So I would like you to go in your notes or in your study guides, because in your study guide, these soil horizons, they are being explained also in more details. Most of you have struggled a bit also with this during your assignments. You did not really explain deeper about these soil layers or the different types of soil horizons. Now, how to take care of farm animals. Let us look at the animal feed, but I do not want you to take to give you more information on this one, since I want you to understand. I just want you to understand the business that can be done with animal feed, and this you can read in your study guide from page 115 to 116. Please read and have an understanding the business that can be done with animal feed. So, but for now, I would like us to look at what is bullying. So, bullying is the abuse of power by one child of another through a repeated aggressive behaviors. A bully is someone who uses physical or a verbal aggressions against another person on a repeated basis to intimidate so as to take advantage of him or her. Now, as a teacher, you must also know or understand how to create a bully-free environment at school. And now for you to understand this, I would like you also to read your study guides on page 129. There you can find out how to create a bully-free environment at school so that we can avoid bullying at school, because bullying sometimes is very dangerous. It can even lead to fight at school. I also like you to understand classroom environment approaches that increase suitable students' behavior. And also this one, you can also find them in your study guide. And as I said, that I'm not going to present all the whole content to you because of the limited times. So go through your study guide and have a clear understanding or understand the classroom environment, those approaches that can increase the suitable students' behavior. Let us also look at the effects of weeds on plant growth. I would also want you to understand and be able to explain why weeds should be removed from among valuable plants. So this one you can also find in your study guide. Please, when I say read your study guide, please do not be ignorant. I want you to go through your study guides very carefully, more especially on this subject of weeds. I want you to know why weeds should be removed from among the variable plants or plants that are valuable. We all know that weeds can harm humankind, because sometimes weeds can also cause skin irritations. There are those weeds that once get in contact with a human, it can cause a skin irritation. Then weeds can also harm desirable plants. As you can see that sometimes weeds can also release toxins in the soils. And then now, as the plants absorb these toxins, it can lead to plant death. Weeds can also harm grazing animals when animals consume them. Some plants, we know that some plants or some weeds are very poisonous or they are toxic. When plants consume them, it can also be harmful to them and it can also cause death, or it can also cause some undesirable flavors in the meat of an animal. Weeds may also become pests in water, since sometimes also the weed can also harbor mosquito or increase the productions of mosquitoes in the water, or it can also remove or reduce the level of oxygen also in the water. I also want you to understand why plants grow differently in soil collected from different areas. As we know that we have got different types of soil. We have got sometimes we have got topsoil or loam soils. We have got sand soils. we have got also the clay soils. So I want you to understand why is it that plant can grow differently in these different types of soil, looking at also the soil structure, the soil texture, and also the composition of that soil, or the nutrient composition, or even the chemical compositions of the different types of soil. So go through your study guide and understand why plant can grow differently in soil collected from different area or environments. So let us also go through now on how to prepare for your exam or for your examination. Just some tips that I want you to take you through in order to prepare for your exam. Ensure that you have all the study materials or resources required for these modules. And one that I'm sure that you have your study guide available to you or provided to you that you have to go through. Please ensure that you spend enough time reading the prescribed materials and to follow the instructions carefully so as to ensure that you do not waste unnecessary time and effort. Take time to first acquaint yourself with the content of the modules by reading through the material carefully. Yes, I have already indicated to you that you must read some of the topics into more details in your module. Please, I want you to take your time and go through those topics using your study guide. Make sure you understand the verbs used very well. For example, define, or clarify, or discuss, or describes. Because sometimes most of you do not really read the question very carefully. For example, if you are being asked to define, so you just need to give a brief descriptions of that term that you need to define. You have to be specific and straight to the point in order to define that term. And then you also clarify. When you are being asked to clarify, most of the time you need to give the clarity of that subject or the topic that you are given. Give the clarity, clarify the ideas. Okay? Then always also pay attention to the marks allocated to each questions and answer accordingly. Because before you answer the questions, please look at the mark that is indicated and answer according to the mark that is indicated in the brackets. Because if the question is indicating 10 marks, you cannot just write 1 or 2 sentences. That means you need to give a bit more information on that question for you to get enough mark. Never leave any questions unanswered or blank. And I have seen this a lot, for example, in your assignment. I don't know whether you did not get enough time to read the assignment or to get the information that is needed for the question. And then I just find most of you even leave the question blank, which is not necessary. Please, you can use your understanding to answer the questions, because it is good to put something rather than you have just leave the question blank. Otherwise, if you leave it blank, you will just get a 0. But if you try to answer the way you understand the questions, at least we can try to put a mark for you. Then also, I would like you also to revise your assignments and ask also your tutor. You can ask me if you have any problems. As I said, you can contact me on my mobile number, which I have already given you on the screen. I can still repeat. My mobile number is 08144 38360, or you can send me an email, which I have already said. My email is asholongera@unam.na. So if you need more information, or if you need more question, or if you need more clarity about the course or the modules, or even your previous assignments, so you feel free to contact me. And also, for you how to prepare for your examination, again, just to continue, I would like to say, please enjoy these modules, and I want to say good luck with the assessments through the assignment or even examination that is part and parcel of your studies. But I would like you to tell you that perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. So for this time now, we have come to the end of our course or of our class today, and I would like to say all the best for your upcoming examinations. And please feel free to contact me for any other question.